So let's see what we've got inside this Ritter case with all the pouches. And have a look inside. And it's a Squire, but it's not just any old Squire. It's a Squire Bullet by Fender. And it looks a bit different from your normal guitars. Got some finger wear up there. I'll let you see it. The Squire Bullet. Finger wears right through the gloss. Pickups are covered. And just move it a little bit closer to see how she goes, Joe's. Right, okay. So I'll just do a rundown check on this. I like the head of the Squire. It's thin. The bullet, maybe that's why they call it a bullet, because the head's not that much bigger than the neck. So let's just run down a few little checks on it. See what lots of fretboard wear. I'm sorry, lots of fret wear. A little bit of a bow on it. Little bit. Very dirty jack plug. Let's test the neck just the whole way down to the bridge. Fine. And this is extremely dirty. I think I might actually have. Let me just see if I've got. No, that's the wrong size. Right. Let's do a little test of the electrics. Bodywork is in average condition. Neck is not particularly damaged, and they've all got Fender tuners on the top. So let's have a listen to the electrics. How do you get that? That way? That way. Right, okay, that way. Let's have a listen. You hear my buzzy amplifier? Oh, actually it's a bit loud, that's why. Right. I was expecting that. Oh. Expecting some sound even through the. Although I do think it's working, I just can't touch these the way I normally would touch metal. Anyway, we'll find out later on. The electrics are going to need, everything's going to need to be taken apart and have a good clean and look inside. But the frets are in pretty shitty condition, but there's still lots of fret on them, so they're going to need a good fret job. Okay, let's get into the electrics. Switch off that. Let's get into the electrics and pause. I'll just look up what they tell me about this Squire Bullet from Fender and what year it is, because it's bound to have a serial number on the back, which I can't see. S034908. So we'll look that up and see what we got. Human beings can be very annoying, can't they? But hey, yes, listen, I never ask, but could you press the subscribe button? The dirt in there. It'd be nice if you could press the subscribe button, because I've been told that if I get 1,000 subscribers, then I might be able to earn some money for a CC's. And I'm at 600. Not a great deal, but if I got a few quid a week for a CC's, I'd be happy. very dirty now, very dirty, and you can see the WD-40 around the other switch. So, okay, that's good that they did that. The switch is very dirty. You can see that in there, and the wiring is very neat, very tidy. And right, okay, the covers, springs. Springs are different for each pickup. Very nice. Long springs at the front, shorter springs at the back. And am I right in saying no springs there? Right, no springs. Let's plug it in again. Nice wiring job, I like it. Let's see if we got any noise this time. Nothing. No. I'm going to take it out and have a look to see what it is. Let's just lift this out. I forgot. You have to have. Well, there's the other springs. I thought they went underneath the pickups. That would be very sad if these pickups are duff. Right, so hopefully, let's just turn this around. Turn everything around. That's just the earth, the switch. Let's pump the volume up a little bit, so I'm going to do some tapping. So I got a feeling the problem's here with this. Something not right with the switch, which is a bit of a relief. Let's just turn it over. Sorry about the loud noises, chappies and chappasses. Look at that there. That's all corroded, completely corroded. So let me just switch off that and I'll show you it on the other camera. And I hope this is the problem. Right, sorry. There you go. And I hope this is the problem, because you can see that it's completely corroded, and the WD-40 has got in there, but it's just thickened the corrosion. So whenever you turn that knob, nothing's happening when you turn that knob, and it should happen. So the switch is faulty. Yeah, no, the switch is done. To replace the switch. Okay, pause. Again, apologies for the fan noise in the background. I could take it out, but it makes my voice staccato. This Squire Bullet is turning out to be one of the nicer guitars when it's finished. It's got a nice relicking there, genuine relicking of finger marks on the guitar, which all helps, you know, taking it away and making it perfect. I saw somebody doing that the other day on YouTube, and I thought, no, don't do that. The only thing, the frets are pretty well worn, but there's some life in them still. And I remember reading, was it Dave's World of Fun Stuff? Maybe I'm quoting him by accident, but he says that the frets aren't being worn away, they're being pressed in, and that if you do the fret cleaning and properly, you can push some of that metal back to where it belongs. I think it was for Dave's World of Fun Stuff, and I've done that on one other guitar and it worked fairly successfully. So I'm going to try to work on these frets now and get them into a better shape. I'll tell you what, let's look at that one first with the big fingerprints. that's it. I'm happy. I'm happy. Happy, happy, happy. Okay, pause now. Right, I was just about to do this soldering when a moth flew in and Georgie girl went crazy. So I've extended all the cables to give me a bit more room. So theoretically it just should be a simple job of touching each one to the switch and soldering it on. I don't want too much on the switch on any of these. I just want to touch. Right, okay. So, and then I got to do the earth wires, but let's just do the ordinary switches first. So we're almost ready to send this baby home. I put the covers on. You didn't need to see that. Put the switches on. Everything's wired up nicely. Everything's tightened up nicely. You'll see that this bit isn't finished yet because the intonators have to go on. But the owners have decided, and there's Georgia girl wants to cuddle. Yep. This is her. She has to have her cuddle. And she'll sit there for a few minutes. It seems to be every time I know I love you too. Every time I start a guitar and I start talking to the camera, she seems to think, I think that she's thinking that I'm talking to her, but she's purring away here and she's cuddly wuddly. And how could you resist not stopping everything you're doing for just a moment of cuddles? Okay, that's enough. Well, that's enough camera work. I'm going to get more cuddles for sure. Well, that was slightly longer cuddle than normal. She wanted to fall asleep in my arms, which I didn't mind. So she stayed for a few minutes. But you can see this is pretty badly damaged with damp and all that, but the owner wants to keep it original, and so he's ordered a new set. The springs will be the same. So when they arrive, I'll be able to put this all together and I can go back to this baby. I have a feeling this is going to be a lovely sounding guitar and a lovely player. I have a feeling it will be. So another couple of days we'll get this all together. Tiny short video advertising crust. I'm not getting paid for this, obviously. I'm not getting paid for anything. It costs me all doing this, but I use this a lot when I can't get the rust off something without a lot of damage. Now on this one it's quite rusty, but if I was to sand this down I'd lose the whole chrome, and I want to keep this as original as possible, so I'm using crust on it. Now if you haven't used crust, it's a pretty straightforward thing. You just paint it on after you take off the loose rust. You put on crust and it actually does exactly what it says on the tin. Hello Georgie girl. Georgie girl's just out of camera shot because she hears me talking to the camera, and there's some reason or other she just does that. But this crust stuff eats into the rust and turns it into a crust on top of the metal, and it stops the rust from damaging any more of the metal. Now one of the things about this is that I particularly like is once I've done this, you only do it once. I put it on my home boiler, by the way, because there was a little bit of rust at the top of my boiler 3 years ago, and it's still in good condition, but it goes solid black. It turns black and it turns that crust really solidly so it doesn't rust anymore. So it's a good, when you look at it you'll think, oh, it's still rusted, but it'll be a black color and it will have stopped the rust. So you just let that dry on that, and that's pretty good. Now while that's drying, you can see it's starting to go black already, but the original Fender intonators, you can see here, they're in good shape, but they're pretty dirty and rusty. But I just happen to have had, I bought these some time ago, genuine Fender replacement intonators that are identical and the right era for these. So I'm going to put them on, and I'm not going to do that on camera because it means screwing, springs, all that there. I'll do that all off camera and come back when it's done. Well, that was not fun. I put on these. Let me just show you. I put on these nice new shiny ones, but if you look, they're not high quality. They're far too high, and if you put them on there, you'd slice your wrist playing the guitar. And they looked out of place, a nice shiny chrome thing on the old plate at the back. So I had to unstring the whole guitar and redo it all again, and I've discovered that this screw here is overly tight, but it's the correct screw, so I'm going to have to finagle to make sure this is right. So what I'm going to do now is tune this up, get the angle of the strings correct to the width of the guitar, sorry, the contour of the guitar, which I think is 12. Let me just see. You do this without the strings on, but then again you need the strings on to work at it. Actually, the contour of the guitar is 7.5. How can that be? Let's try 12. It could be 7.5 because it's a narrower neck. It is 7.5, right, okay. So 7.5, and then I'll get the strings to all touch that right contour. But I'll get tuned first, intonated, and then I'll adjust the contour. Alright, so do I want to let you struggle on with this? No, let me come back to you when that's all done, because you don't want to see me going bing, 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 and I'll speed it up and all that sort of thing. So I'll switch it off and come back to you when it's all done. But this has all been treated with crust to stop it going any further, and so now we'll get down to it. Okay, come back later. Well, that was a terror. It took a full hour and maybe another 15 minutes after that to get this right. To get the intonation right, to get the contour right, to get the tuning right. Tune it, intonate it, then I change the contour, have to intonate it again, but it sounds okay now. But it actually sounds very good now. I can't play it this way. I should. Alright, let me change position here. Okay. Okay, that's it. All I have to do now is trim these off, give this guitar a little bit of a polish, and it's going home to daddy. It is a very nice sounding guitar. In the hands of a good player, it even sounds better. Action is good. Action probably could come down another touch, but I'm not going to play with it too much because I got a feeling this is going to be sold quickly by the owner. and the final person who buys it can then decide for themselves what they want to do with it. Going home. Bye. Just cut these bits off.